My mug is not as exciting as yours. Mine is
It's
I don't know.
Paul
I can't.
University.
DePaul University, baby. Go Blue Demons.
Huh.
I wish I wish DePaul had a better brand. You know, it's
Like the
like
logo or like
no
the overall
the vision.
cultural brand?
Yeah, the cultural brand. The visual aesthetics are actually, I think, pretty good, but
Okay.
the brand of the school itself, I don't know. It's just when I tell people I went to school in Chicago, they immediately think like, one of the good ones like Northwestern or U Chicago, and I'm just like, oh no, I went to DePaul University. And then more times than not, it's like, oh, okay, you went to DePaul, not DePaul, right? PAW, which is I think a school in Indiana or whatever. But I tried to say it's like, oh, it's like a city university, like right in the heart of the north side, kind of like how NYU is tucked away in like Soho
Yeah, yeah.
downtown. But like those comparisons, like outside of geographic location being like in dense urban areas, I feel like the schools are obviously miles apart. Um, but yeah, I'm trying to rep the brand so it becomes cooler by way of people like us, doing cool things post grad.
That's interesting. I've yeah. I haven't thought of college in really until you brought this up
Uh-huh.
in a way. I feel like I just don't look back much.
Uh-huh.
And some things have started to come up again where randomly I'm running into old college acquaintances or friends,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of like circling back, and I think, oh yeah, like I remember that time and all the people I met and the good time I had, but I don't actively, like, college is not something on my mind
Totally.
at all. um so it's interesting that you bring that up. That's interesting.
What's funny is for me, it's been less about reflecting on my college days and more about how can I better leverage this brand to pursue things in my current life and like down the road, right? So a lot of other universities have really strong alumni ties. Like I don't have any ties to DePaul except for the friends that I made, obviously, right? Like
Mm.
you being one of them. But like I look at kids who went to NYU or Michigan or schools in the South, and oftentimes there's like a strong either academic vibe of the university or athletics, obviously, right? So like
Mhm.
Michigan's a good example. Like my brother-in-law went there and every game is an experience. The alumni network is super strong. There's this like pride that people carry with them for the rest of their lives. And it's very easy for them to kind of navigate an alumni network or meet somebody or have that connection. And so for me, it's been like, is there any juice that I can squeeze out of this institution that I was a part of for 4 years? Because if I'm being honest, like academically, I don't think I took a lot out of the experience. But that doesn't mean it's over and done with. So for me, it's like, how can I like continue squeezing out more value from this institution that I gave a lot of money to, and I have a bad taste in my mouth because of the price tag
Huh.
and what I got out of it academically. Obviously, it's not all on the institution. A lot of that lies on my shoulders and my decisions that I made there. But regardless, it was more of like, can I leverage this brand and this institution and this alumni network to further progress my career and also just um, my network and people who I know and want to get to know. So it started with buying a DePaul University mug to remind me to do that. Outside of that, I've done nothing else. There's like an alumni network here, but I haven't gone to any meetings or anything. But it's on the radar. So I'll get to one at some point this year, probably.
Interesting. This is like a whole other conversation, but
Yeah, maybe not
it
as
probably
exciting as some of
it
your ideas.
no, 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 like I would say the lack of a strong alumni network would go back to the fact of the experience itself. And you have like this
Totally.
huge commuter population, and then you have like the on-campus Lincoln Park experience.
Yeah.
And the fact you can make your college experience whatever you want because it's in the middle of Chicago,
Hmm.
and it's very easy to get to for other people. While it's great individually, maybe cohesively, it doesn't quite build that foundation.
Yeah, there's not enough people with a shared experience, to your point exactly. We're just all like individuals going in and out of this, the classroom essentially. There's no like shared meeting point.
Except
And maybe
Chicago. Chicago is like the
yeah,
whole thing that
yeah,
ties it together.
yeah. But there's just too like the ratio that there's too many people. Like you could argue like really small schools and cities. Like I'm just thinking of Columbia in New York. Like that's obviously very small. It's also an Ivy League school, so it's just like very different. But I think because there's a smaller student body, there's a better opportunity for everyone to like know everybody. Whereas DePaul is still like pretty big school. Like I always forget like how many kids
Yeah.
go there. Like it's bigger than like a Notre Dame or a lot of other private schools, and it's just hard to like know everybody there. Anyway,
So you said
go.
culturally, the cultural brand. Elaborate more
Mhm.
on that.
I I just feel like people don't really know what it's known for. Um, I don't think people know it's like a one of the biggest Catholic universities. Not that that carries any weight. Um, I think it just comes down to like the academic standing. You know, it's not as prestigious as a lot of other universities out there, and that shouldn't matter. But I don't know. I guess I just wish it had like a stronger brand presence. Um, and it doesn't. But I think of like the best university brands, and most of them are just the best academic schools. You know, you think of like the Ivy Leagues, and then you think of like Northwestern and Michigan and state schools like Cal and Stanford, obviously, uh, like Texas, another good state school.
Yeah, you said schools are either known academically or athletics.
Yeah. And then I guess you get
DePaul
those like
basketball is
random,
not necessarily the
no. And then I guess you get those like super small ones. Like I'm thinking, uh, like on the East Coast, like the Bowdens of the world, or like the Pacific Northwest, like Reed College, which I think is where like Steve Jobs went for like a few semesters,
yeah.
or like RISD, like that's another big one, but that's obviously known for like design, right? So like I feel like DePaul like is just not known for anything, right? It's
I feel like your comparison to NYU is um pretty solid. The academics aren't the same, but like what I kind of
yeah,
describe DePaul as is like the cool Chicago school. So it's very
the cool
social.
one, you think? Oh, social.
So it's like I feel like it's the
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's like
I
the
mean, yeah,
trendy like hip school to
yeah,
go to in Chicago.
yeah. Northwestern is not very fun. U Chicago, I mean, that's like where the fun goes to die, right? That's their
Yeah.
and then Loyola is just kind of random.
Because
Yeah,
it's international and like all across the country too.
yeah. Anyway,
Interesting. Yeah. So cultural brand.